All right, so after you chain your 24, you're gonna go into the first stitch and then start your I started with single, so that's just going through, yarn it over, and then pulling through the two that's on the hook. um but of course you can start with your double crochet, and I did show you like at the end how to crochet the double crochet. Okay, so we're coming up to the end, and you want to go into the last stitch with your single or double crochet, and then after that you are going to chain one or two depending on what stitch you're doing. So you say you wanted to do double, so you chain two chains, and then you turn your work. But like I said, I do have the preview at the end of how to do the double crochet also. So then once you do that, you go into the very first stitch again and finish doing your stitches along the stitch. All right, so like we're about to start coming up to the peak that you keep having trouble with. So like just go into basically the next stitch. You're gonna see it. It's like on the side, but just go into whatever you see that is like the middle stitch, basically, because it's basically the part that you first started. So then you're gonna go into that part three times, since you're doing a double crochet again. So you're gonna go into that part three times with a double crochet stitch. If you have a stitch marker, I recommend you use it for this so that you won't miss the part where you want to do your stitch into every time. So like every time you go around, you remove your stitch marker, and I put mine in the second um stitch out of the three stitches that we put into the hole. And then after that we just keep going around until we reach the bottom. All right, so we're reaching the end again. So you go into that stitch and then chain your chain, and then you're going to turn your work, and like you're just going to keep doing this the whole time, but you don't want to miss any stitches, because that's when your project starts to create a whole different form. So you just want to make sure you're not holding your needle or your thread too tight neither. And then you're just going to chain and then turn your work, like I said before. Like here, I forgot if I chained or not, so I had to do it over. And then you go into the very first stitch underneath that chain, which was the last, last stitch. Alright, so we're coming back up to the point, and that's where you want to put your next 3 stitches. So for me, I like to go into the stitch with my stitch marker still in it. So I won't forget, because like my eyes be playing tricks on me. So after the 3 inside the hole, that's when I put my stitch marker in the second stitch out of the 3 stitches, if that makes sense. Alright, so we are reaching the end again, and I think this time I'm going to show you the double crochet. So once again, go into your last stitch, and this time we will be chaining 2, I believe. One more chain, yes. There we go. Turn your work, yarn over, go through the first stitch, the very first, yep. Yarn over, pull through 2, because you have 3 stitches on the hook now. You pull through 2 of those, and then you yarn over and you pull through 2 more, and that is your double crochet. So yarn over, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 more, and that's how you do your double crochet. So like I said at the beginning, you can start off with chaining before you go into the very first stitch. At the beginning, you yarn over and then you go into that stitch, and then that's when you start doing your double crochets for making your bra. And like now you can see the difference between the single crochet at the bottom and double crochet at the top.